Right.
So, my name is Lucy Nathanson. I'd like to thank you for inviting me tonight. So, last summer I travelled to Uganda with 3 other University of Surrey students, and we volunteered in a children's home as teachers for 1 month. While we were in Uganda, we were completely shocked by the lack of nutrition that these children have in their diet. Every morning they have for breakfast porridge mixed with water. For lunch they have posho and beans. Posho is like a maize flour mixed with water to make a dough-like consistency. And for dinner again they have posho and beans. As you can see here, this little boy is holding the typical posho and beans. And posho is known to be cheap and very, very low in nutritional value. We were so shocked by the lack of nutrition they have in their diet and the absence of variety. And this is why I decided to start my project. These children don't even eat bananas which are grown locally because they're sent for export and they're seen as too expensive for the children. One day we bought 200 bananas, a banana for each child in the children's home, for £6, which works out as 3 pence each, and we gave a banana to each child. This little girl called Kedron was so happy with her banana she even asked to have a picture with it. To us that shows us how much these children value nutrition. This gave me the idea to start this project to buy at the children's home a cow. A cow will give these children milk in their diet so they can have milk in their porridge. I've been fundraising for the cow a lot since I've returned, and I've raised money for a cow and a bit. So I will now buy a second cow for another children's home in Uganda, which I'm very happy about. Each cow I buy will be pregnant, so that the cows will give birth and the offspring will pass on to other children's homes and schools in Uganda so that more and more children can benefit as a result of this project. So as I said, I've raised money for almost 2 cows and I'm asking for £600 to buy a 3rd cow so that a whole new school of children can benefit from this project. A good dairy cow costs £450 in Uganda, and the £600 is for the other surrounding costs for the cow, such as transporting the cow from the place of purchase to the relevant school. So, the advantages of buying a cow for a school in Uganda are as follows. Firstly, there are many nutritional benefits. Many of the children that we're working with have HIV as it is, so giving them milk will help them to grow to be healthier and stronger. They suffer from undernourishment and malnutrition, and thus nutrition is something that they greatly need. Here in England, children are encouraged to drink milk, and have a glass of milk is really easily accessible to them. However, in Uganda, they don't have this basic privilege, and I think that should be their right to have such a basic need. Secondly, as a result of buying a cow for the children's home, the children will acquire agricultural skills. In Uganda, the main work sector is farming, and thus agricultural skills are invaluable. If they learn them at school, I think that it will help them in their future life. Thirdly, I think that buying these children a cow will raise their self-esteem. Going to Uganda, we thoroughly enjoyed our time with them. We had the best time of our life, and those children really enjoyed us being there with them. However, we had to leave. I think that giving a cow to these children will be a constant physical reminder to them that someone cares about them, like enough to give them something so special, and they'll see it every day, and every day they'll drink that milk. And fourthly, of course, it will make the milk taste so much, the porridge taste so much better. So, of course. Okay, my project is a long-term project. As a result of drinking this milk, these children will grow up to be healthier and stronger. Secondly, each cow I buy will be pregnant, of course, and offspring will be passed on to other schools and children's homes in Uganda. In addition to this, future generations of children will benefit from this project. The offspring that these cows have, those offspring will have their own offspring, and those offspring will have their own offspring, and so on, and thus future generations of children will drink the milk from this project. So as you can see, small actions can have far-reaching effects. With this support, we can provide nutrition for a whole new school of children. I think we need to recognise the need to invest in small but very effective projects like this, which can have long-lasting effects. I think that our goal should be to give the most vulnerable people in our society the benefits which we have, and as a result of this project, I hope that many children in Uganda will be having the nutrition that they truly deserve. Thank you very much.
obviously the cows arrive at the children's homes. And we're assuming from the pictures that it's simply a case of putting the animals out to graze on existing pasture. We're assuming that's the case, but are there costs? Are there substantial costs in actually maintaining the cow? Does it need special food? Does it need special housing? Or is it just
for this type of questions.
Okay. When I was in Uganda in July, when I had this idea and I promised the children that I'll buy them a cow, I told them in advance to grow 1 acre of pasture for the cow, so that in 1 year it'll have the land ready. And and when I found out that I'd raised enough for 2 cows, I've already contacted the second school, so they are preparing in advance, and they have been funding that themselves, as well as building the shed for the cow to live in. They have all been happy to fund that themselves. And when I buy the cows for each school, children's home, I will provide them with a starter kit, which will be a pesticide to spray against ticks, 1 litre of dewormer and a spray pump. And I've been told by several veterinary doctors in Uganda that that is enough to, that's all they need.
I've got a few questions actually. Presumably you're a big fan of Farmville or something. It kind of feels a bit like a real version of Farmville. I think it's a really interesting idea. Very practical question. How much milk does 1 cow produce, and what's the ratio of that to bowls of porridge?
Okay, I want to buy a cow for £450, which is the most expensive dairy cow available in Uganda. And the cow which I'm aiming for will produce at least 20 litres of milk a day. This won't be enough for each child to have milk with their porridge. They will have to have some water mixed with it, which is why the children's home will keep 1 offspring, so that eventually they'll be able to have 100% milk with the porridge. But to begin with, they won't.
And then, I'm no great expert in this, but I know lots of animals are very adept at having, giving birth quite naturally. But is there kind of local dairy farming skill that you can call on, or that your community can call on, should the cow get into any difficulties during labour?
I'm in contact with local representative in Uganda is organising the practical aspects of it. And he says that because farming is the main work sector in Uganda, the local people generally have the relevant skills required. But because we can't rely on this, he will train up at least 1 teacher at each school who will be able to deal with looking after the cow and the different aspects, who will pass on the knowledge to the children. So, that should be done.
And it would be interesting to know how much money you've raised, or you may have said it earlier, but...
So far?
Yes.
Okay, I've raised £800 so far.
And how have you done that?
Okay, I've done a lot of cake sales at uni. You may have tasted my cakes, I don't know, I'm regularly outside the library doing cake sales. Apart from that, I've done simply through donations from friends and family. As well as this, I organised at my home in London, I organised a community coffee morning where I invited my local communities, gave out leaflets to come and pay £2.50, and I made a big cake, and they could have coffee and cake and get to know your neighbours event. And through that, many people gave donations as well, which was really good. Oh, sorry, well, just reminded me something, sorry. As well as this, when we were in Uganda, the children made some jewellery for us, so I've been selling that regularly. And I also bought a drum, handmade drum in Uganda, which I brought back and I sold that.